It is very important to understand that getting into the wrong relationship will affect your life. This decision that you make to be in a relationship with someone is probably the most important decision of your life, because this relationship will alter the course of your life. When we're dealing with unhealthy relationships, you're going to be exposed to things like manipulation, gaslighting, all of those emotional abusive tactics that I've talked about over the years, passive aggressive behavior, the silent treatment. Some of them are very easy to spot, and some of them you can kind of, I don't want to say disregard them, but you can deal with them a little easier. And some you really may not be able to spot. Manipulation and gaslighting, I always say they're kind of like cousins. They kind of live in the same boat. They really need each other in order for one of them to actually work. And if you're not equipped to understand what that looks like and being aware as to when someone's actually doing it to you, then you're going to subside, you're going to fold, you're going to get conformed into the manipulation or the gaslighting. You're going to believe this person when they tell you, what happened or who you are. You're going to take the bait. You taking the bait also has to do with how you feel about yourself. If you are coming from voids and wounds, which by the way, all of us have them. No one does not have something that they're walking around with, but whether or not people want to address those things, whether it's insecurity, abandonment, any kind of vulnerability that they have, any kind of void that they're still carrying around with them, if they don't want to acknowledge it, then nothing's really ever going to change, and they're always going to attract these unhealthy relationships. My understanding your past is so important is that it's not something that you just went through. It's something that is still current in your life, meaning it's controlling how you feel. It's controlling what you do. It's controlling the types of relationships that you have. And the problem is that most people are completely oblivious to this. When you're in toxic relationships, unhealthy relationships, you don't realize just how much these things are actually affecting your self-esteem, lowering your energy, making you feel emotionally drained because you're entangled in the drama and the back and forth with this person. So many people I have coached over the years that are dealing with this. Maybe they're not out of a relationship, they're in a relationship. And because of this unhealthy dynamic that's going on between the two of these people, because they're dealing with an unhealthy person and are probably unhealthy themselves in how they handle these situations, they're going back and forth in this dynamic. And that, if it doesn't lead to depression, it's going to lead to excessive amounts of stress. It's going to lead to anxiety. It's going to lead to worrying and just being emotionally drained, which affects, everything, your immune system, your nervous system, and overall, you not being healthy or happy. Of course, there's the dynamic of wanting this person to change and doing everything that you possibly can to walk on eggshells or make it better. And of course, there's a balance between working on your relationship and giving up and saying that, okay, this just isn't going to work and this isn't right for me. It's not about, okay, I'm depressed and this relationship is the cause of that. No, not necessarily, but if you're in a relationship with someone who definitely is narcissistic, definitely is emotionally abusive, then yeah, it is going to cause those things to happen. If you resonate with being someone who's highly sensitive, guess what? You are more susceptible to things like panic attacks, anxiety, and depression because you feel on another level. So when you're highly sensitive or even just kind of resonate with little bits of that, I feel like I am an empath. I feel like I do take on other people's energy. I do feel more depleted at the end of the day. When you know that that is your personality, that is who you are, and now you're in a really unhealthy relationship, it is going to affect your mental health because you are dealing with things like silent treatment, passive aggressive behavior, shutting down, manipulation, gaslighting, maybe verbal abuse, maybe physical abuse, this roller coaster of abusive cycle where it's like one day we're good, one day we're not, one day we're good, like just this back and forth game that is draining on a level that I can't even tell you. But if you don't know that you're in that type of relationship, what are you going to do about it? If you have been in this relationship for a long period of time and now you're starting to feel anxious, depressed, you don't know who you are, you feel like you're going crazy, you're losing yourself. you might want to examine the type of relationship that you're in. Key thing too here is not just to blame everything on this other person. It's also to ask yourself, what is the part or the role that I'm playing in this relationship? So it's not about this person just being unhealthy or gaslighting or manipulation, but it is about, what's my role in it? Do I take the bait? Do I believe the gaslighting? Do I take on the manipulation? When the silent treatment happens, do I feel so uncomfortable that then I start changing who I am to make you feel okay, so you'll be my friend again and talk to me and not give me the silent treatment because I don't like the way that that makes me feel? If you resonate with anything that I just said, that means that there are things that you have to work on within yourself regardless of this person. This means that we are not going to sit here and just blame this other person. We're going to take responsibility for ourselves. When you start to take responsibility for yourself, you start to heal a lot of those things. You don't come to the table being a people pleaser. You don't come to the table being codependent. You know who you are. You honor that. You are not a person who's going to be manipulated. You have really good boundaries. When those things start to happen, you don't feel anxious or depressed in relationships. And a lot of the times, the people that feel anxious or depressed in relationships, they don't even know that it's the relationship that's making them feel this way. And let's just say that it's not the relationship. Let's say you are a person who's watching this video who just happened to kind of like watch it for whatever reason, and you're actually in a really good relationship. You're not in an unhealthy one whatsoever, and maybe you still feel anxious and depressed. Then this is also about you and healing your stuff that's causing the anxiety and the depression to happen. There's 3 big things that all unhealthy relationships, I don't care if it's physical, emotional, narcissistic, I don't care what the unhealthy behavior is in that dynamic between you and that person, there are 3 things that this person in this relationship are going to give you. One is going to create a lot of uncertainty or self-doubt within yourself. One of the most common negative effects of these types of relationships, impact that it's going to have on your self-esteem. It is very common for people in these types of relationships to begin to constantly question themselves and walk on eggshells with this person. Alone will cause so many problems. If you're constantly questioning yourself, what did I do wrong? Maybe it is me, maybe I need to do something different. All of those things, that's going to affect your confidence and your self-esteem. You're going to think that you're the problem and this person is not the problem. So then you're going to let this person get away with their bad behavior. Constantly walking on eggshells, you are always in fight or flight. That is going to affect your nervous system. That is going to affect whether or not you do really suffer from anxiety and panic attacks, because guess what? There's only so much your nervous system can handle before it just explodes. And this is usually when the meltdown happens or the breakdown. It's going to cause you to feel insecure, which kind of like with the uncertainty and the self-doubt, it's really just going to affect your self-esteem and how you feel about yourself, because you're going to be dependent on this person making you feel secure. You don't need that. It's also this relationship is going to start draining your energy. And like I said, when your energy starts to get depleted and you don't recharge those batteries, and most people who are in really unhealthy dynamics with anyone, this isn't just a romantic partner. This is, it could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be your sister. It's just, it doesn't matter. It's just an unhealthy relationship between 2 people. When this relationship starts to really deplete your energy, and it is going to affect you physically and mentally. It starts to impact other areas of your life. So now this relationship is coming in between maybe you and your kids because you're not as patient with them because you're frustrated with this other person that you're in a relationship with, whether it's a romantic partner or a family member, doesn't matter. Maybe it starts to affect your performance at work because you're just completely stressed and drained all the time from this worrying or overthinking that you're doing in this relationship. It forces you to not be in the moment of your life because you're either preoccupied in thinking about this relationship, or you're trying to recoup from just how much this relationship weighed you down or drained you so you can have the energy for the next thing. So you're always in this like survival mode, again, walking on eggshells, not just with this person, but in life in general. And you're in survival mode, just trying to survive the day-to-day dynamics between you and this person. So when you get the text message and now all of a sudden your stomach starts turning and you're getting anxious and nervous about how to respond to this person, all, like, see what I mean? Like, these are the dynamics that are going to affect your mental health. Here's the thing, because I want you to leave with, okay, well, what do I do about this, right? Because I know everyone's asking that question. What you do about it is, first off, you educate yourself to understand the types of relationships in your life that are not healthy. You don't need to label anyone. No one needs to be narcissistic. No one needs to be this. It's just the relationship where there's an unhealthy something going on between the two of us. You're going to examine their behavior that triggers you, that you think is unhealthy. And you're also going to look at your own self and start to really understand, what am I doing that plays a role in this dynamic? Am I feeding this unhealthy behavior by going toe to toe with this person, or trying to convince them, or trying to get them to change? What's my part in this that I can actually control? That's kind of step one. Step two is you have got to start, and step two will just naturally happen when you take responsibility for yourself, but you have to, for number two, you have to start healing some of the things from your past. I talk about this all the time in so many of my courses, but my one course, 9 Weeks to Emotional Healing, I'll link it down below. For the entire month of December, it's 50% off. The code is down below as well. Please take advantage of that. It goes over all of your emotional wounds, what they are, how they came about, how they show up in your life, and how to heal from them. That is an absolute first place to start. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video.